Okay, good afternoon all. Hope everyone is well. I had a great relaxing weekend. So, I don't know if anybody has rolled over this morning. I have. I had a reminder. I've just spoke to a couple of people on the Discord. They have as well. So just to let you know if your chart looks ever so slightly different to mine. Karina, good morning. I was just reading your comment there. You've had some rhythmic issues. I'll try. Look, have you managed to close? Have you managed to close your positions there, have you, Karina? Hopefully you have. That lag's a bit up today. Speedy, how you doing, buddy? Okay, it's calming down a bit. Market has just opened, so you've managed to close up. Okay. So, fingers crossed. I've got to say, Rhythmic's been okay lately. I haven't really had any issues. So, hopefully... we shouldn't get any more, hopefully. Are you green, are you? Oh, happy days. Daryl, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, if you get messed around, I think it's good that you end up green. At least you've got a bit of compensation for your stress anyway. I'm not lucky. No, to be fair, I don't think there's a lot of luck in trading. Whenever I've traded ridiculously, you never seem to get any luck. I don't know whether that's just the way it works. But if you decided 50-50 to go long or short, I don't think we know the market really goes up or down. Temporarily it goes sideways, but I don't think there's a lot of luck. I think the markets are kind of, they work how they work. There may be a second entry short here, possibly. They kind of work how they work, but there's not a lot of luck. So if this is a channel down, there is a second entry short, but prices holding above that EMA at the moment. So I think you're best off just assuming we've had a small micro and a break. I can't trade for another 20-30 seconds anyway. So you might notice I've got a little bit of extra payments. There's my emails from Apex. I had the 3 last week, 2 Wednesday, 1 Thursday, and I had 2 approved on Sunday. So that tallies me up to 2,500 so far for the month. Now, another couple of days and I can withdraw, I think, another 3,000 to 4,000. Another couple of days after that, probably another 1,000 or 2. So we might get our biggest month, or we might get my biggest month so far this year. So fingers crossed anyway. But now I'm following the rules and I'm not messing around. I'm starting to make money. So it just goes to show, really, it is easier said than done. We kind of all know we got to follow the rules, but, obviously with that emotional connection, it makes it more difficult. But now that's not playing as much of a role. I'm kind of in a nice place at the moment. So long may it last. So I show your progress to my brother, and it says, well, answers better. That's nice. Thank you. I appreciate that. He wants to be me, does he? I'm guessing he's a lot younger than me, so he's better off who he is, to be honest with you. I'm at the ripe old age of 55 at the moment, although I'm quite a young 55. So he's much better staying the age he is. At the moment. Glad to see you doing well. Thanks, Scruff. I appreciate that, mate. I appreciate it. It just goes to show when you can follow the rules. Here's 50. When you can follow the rules, it does work, but it takes a long time. It took me a long time. I've been trading Pats now nearly 4 years. Before years, got a May, June time. So it's taken me a long time. So it just goes to show. It's not a quick process. It's a long and tedious process. But if you stick to it and you just keep coming back and you're stubborn and you don't give up, although there's a high failure rate, I don't think that's down to lack of capability. That's purely down, in my opinion, to people just can't put up with it. That's all it is. It's not for lack of they can't do it. They can. They just think it's quicker than it is. It looks easy. When you see these markets working, you think all I got to do is buy in the right direction or sell in the right direction. but it's not quite that straightforward, and that's why people give up, just because they purely and simply can't put up with the emotional drain and the money. So I'm just going to check my orders.
Order
all
submitted.
opening. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Perfectly one contract.
Order cancelled.
Let's just double check that. 12 ticks, 12 ticks. The ATR is a bit high. It has come down by a point. So hopefully it'll come down some more. It has been really high lately. So, Ben, how you doing, bud? Very hungover today. Newcastle United. They did win, didn't they? Yeah, I did hear. First major trophy in 70 years. Good on you, mate. Yeah, I'm not surprised you're hungover. St James's Park, I reckon. I suppose most of you won't know what I'm talking about there, but... So, are we in a bigger channel? It's hard to say. I was a Leeds fan for years, but I kind of went off football. I'm more cricket now. I just got just the club that I used to watch, just the trouble all the time, and it just used to fry my brain. But boys will be boys. So I have been playing around with a piece of software. Some of you are probably aware of it. It's from Jan. What I'll do when we get a few more in, when we get into a bit of an awkward patch where I'm not trading, I'll drag it in and show you. In fact, I'll do it. I'll show you now quickly. So let me just switch on to a sim. Let me just make sure the only one opening is a sim.
Order submitted.
It should be. Yeah. Okay.
Order cancelled.
So I'm just going to quickly put this on. So this is from Jan. This is he's developed this, and it's just a way, because at the moment, if we want to get in, as you know. If you want to click and get into a position here, you can either click the buy or sell, or you can right click and click sell and so on. But that sometimes like I've just done it now. I've clicked once and nothing's come up, so I click it, and it takes a little bit of a second.
Canceled.
So if I'm looking for a sell here, all I have to do is click that and drag it up and drop it, and I'm in. That's a sell order.
Order cancelled.
Excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. It's not a parcel I was waiting for. So, yeah, if I'm looking for a short, if I click the sell button and drag it up, I can drop it. And I have a sell limit order.
Order canceled.
If I'm looking to drop a market order down here, I can click sell and drag it down here. And then I can drop it in where I want. So if I want to drop it in there and write it back to the email, that's how it works. And I've got my sell. And obviously, it's handy because I can just quick close. And same with a buy. If I bring it down here and drop it, it's a buy limit order.
Order canceled.
If I buy it and I want to drop it up here to wait for price to hit, it's a buy stop market order. So I think that's really useful. Now, I did mention to Jan a while ago, it'd be nice if we could have something to speed this up, and he's done it. It's very simple and it's effective, so I really like it. And I like the fact that sometimes if I want to get out of a trade, I've got to shoot up here and click the close order, which canceled. You can. But I love this, so I'm playing around with it on a sim just to make sure everything's working okay. It's a new bit of software. I just want to make sure he hasn't got to develop any bugs with it, but I love it. So if I'm looking to buy this, I just click buy and drop it down here, and my limit order's there and all ready to get in. I love that. And then boom.
Order cancelled.
So I'm just playing around with it at the moment. Just make sure I'm not going to click anything by accident. But even if you do click something by accident, you know, as long as price is away,
order submitted.
When you click it, there's no issues, and you've got a close button there as well. So I think that's really cool. Morning, S. How you doing, buddy? So I like it. So I'm just playing around with it on a sim. I'll bring it up a bit later when we get a little bit of a lull, but I love it because normally if I'm looking to buy this, I'll right click up here. I'll right click down here. I'm getting confused already now. So you can click my buy and then I'm ready to kind of get in. But that is a bit long-winded.
Order cancelled.
Right click. I've had to do it twice. Go up to buy stop limit or buy limit. And if you're doing that quick, can get yourself
Order
into
cancelled.
trouble where all I got to do is
Order
that, boom,
submitted.
and I'm there. Close
Order
it.
cancel.
Sell,
Order
boom, and I'm there.
submitted.
It's super quick. So I'm just going to play around with it for the rest of the week, and if I get no issues with it, I'm going to incorporate it into me trading from Monday a week today. So I love it. So
Order cancelled.
and it's here as well in strategies. There is a video which shows you how to do it. It's pretty straightforward actually, but I can go into, let me just, if I disable it, you'll see it disappear, and right click and edit. Let's try it again. Right click and edit it. I can change the colors. I can change the distance that it appears from the right. And I can change the orders of the buttons. And so on, the line, the distance in the line. So I really like that. In fact, I'll tell you what I didn't notice. Let me just get it back on a minute. Let me just sell. Did
Order
it put
submitted.
my thing on the end there?
Order filled.
Yeah, it did. I wasn't sure whether it did that. So I love that. I think it's a great bit of kit.
Order filled.
So let me just disable it and leave that out the way, and then go back to my normal trading. So let's toggle that on. Let me just check everything is coming
Order
back
submitted.
on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Perfect. Excellent.
Order
So,
cancelled.
great bit of software that is. Really useful. And I'm going to have a play around with that, as I say, for the rest of the week on a sim. And if everything works okay, I don't hear anything from him that he's had any hiccups. I'm going to use that, because that is going to make my trading so much easier. Thanks. You. Seems very fast. It is. Yeah, I use shortcuts at the moment to put an order in with Ninja, but may think about, yeah. And it's free as well. You can just drop him a little bit, you know, if you like it and you want to use it, you can drop him a little, it's purely donation. You don't have to, but if you've got a, you know, I'm sure you got a few dollars, I'm sure he'd appreciate it. So let's just have a look at this. Have I got anybody showing any? Wasn't too confident that the wider trend up was right, but seeing it break made me think it was. So down at the moment has got that, which makes kind of sense. We got a channel up and we got a break pushing up, but we are continuing up, so I'll keep an eye on that. It's Jan that comes in here. He's in here every day. He does a short day. But yeah, Ekedal under, or Ekedal, or Ekedal. You'll see him. But yeah, that's Jan. He develops it, or developed it. He's the one that has done the News Guard and the Trading Journal as well. He's quite a clever chap. He was also a commercial pilot as well. So he's obviously, I'm assuming he's a kind of an engineer anyway. Did I refresh data? Yes, I update. If you can see, I've rolled over to the 6th. I've spoken to a few other people and they have as well. So if you think mine looks a little bit different, just change yours to the 6th. So you can see up the top here, I've now rolled over to the 6th. So just change the 3 to a 6 and you're good to go. It'll change it ever so slightly, not much. You're welcome. But yeah, if it does look a bit different, it's just because I've rolled over, that's all. I tend to roll over when I get the Ninja Trader prompt. I did have a look at the volume before. There's not a lot of difference really, but it may seem like there's a little bit less volume today, but that's purely because some will have rolled over and some probably won't. Sorry about that. Johnny, how you doing, pal? Looking for a bit of a top out around 56.90 region. 56.90. You haven't rolled over, I'm guessing, have you? Because we're way past that at the moment. I'm up to 57.24, 56.90. You're down here. Have you rolled over? Exponential, how you doing, bud? Sorry, I'm just trying to open something. Oh, you're on micros, are you? Gotcha. I'm going to say I thought something must be a bit different. Let's have a look. It's all right. I'm just peeling the wrapper off something, that's all. Making the account. This is making the account. What he's going to do with all that money? More like, what's my wife going to do with all that money? Right, let's have a look what's going on here. So, is this one leg up with now break? It's hard to say, really. Let's just see what anybody else. Anybody got that as one single channel up? Let's have a look at Thomas Wade. Thomas Wade as trip to Dubai, maybe. Do you know what, Corinne? I was talking to my wife the other day and daughter and said, can we go, I'd like to go to Dubai. And for some reason, they're not interested, and I don't know why. Strange, I don't know why. I tried to show my daughter some of the pictures of the big shopping centres there that, you know, she may get a bit of extra money to spend on clothes, and that didn't swing her. So it might be a case of a divorce at some point and me moving over to Dubai. So the thing is, if they don't want to go, then what I may suggest is I have a lads holiday where I go with a couple of friends and she goes with her sister or something like that. So you never know. But we may go to Cyprus this year. I lived in Cyprus as a young lad. I was about 10 or 11. My stepfather was in the army, so he spent 2 years there. And I like Cyprus. It's very British. They drive on the left side of the road. There's loads of British expats, ex-military over there. And it's got some great memories for me. So we may end up going to Cyprus for a week, but we've got 2 dogs. So we'll put them in boarding kennels, but I don't like them to go in boarding kennels for too long. So we'll see what happens this year. Hopefully this will be a financially good year for me, or certainly better than last year. And maybe, I don't know. The trouble is, if you look at places in Europe, they tend to stay warm up until about September time when they get a little bit cooler. But places like Dubai in September are kind of like where most of Europe is in sort of August, which is hot. So if we can get one holiday this year, I may see if I can tempt them into a second week away, maybe October time, something like that. We'll see. But I would love to go to Dubai. Yeah, I would. So it's hard to say what's going on here. Now, I looked at the daily today, and I think we're either going to have maybe some range. Well, I thought maybe some downtime or a pull back to the EMA. So if I flick over to that day quickly. I mean, we've had such a lot of downward movement. It does seem like we're having a pull back to that EMA, I think. So whether that's as low as we're going to go, I wouldn't be surprised. We have found some support there, and you can see it right the way through there. So I'll be surprised if this goes much lower. Now, it may pull back to the EMA and try to retest it, but this to me looks like it's more, we've obviously pushed down. We've gone a little bit sideways. So I think there's a good chance we're going to get back to this EMA over the next day, couple of days, week, whatever type thing. So, you know, there's potentially the best part of 130 points there. So I wouldn't be surprised if we move up. It'd be interesting to see what happens when we get above this, because that, it's not so much bearish, but a lot of times it will trigger these out. But the way this is looking, I think we're going to have quite a bullish day today, but that's, call it an educated guess. But I wouldn't be surprised. And the way that's had a break and push straight up, I'd still like to see 2 legs down, but that looks quite a strong market today, so maybe buyers have just jumped in there, but I'd like to see 2 legs back or a correction of some sort. But it depends. I suppose if it's strong enough, it may not. I mean, what I will say, just having a quick glance at this, is I'm just looking at that. So maybe this may turn into something like that. In fact, I actually don't think that looks that bad. Let me just move this a minute. I don't know what anybody else thinks, but I think that the fact is, whenever we have a break and it pushes up like that, it's usually, yeah, I mean, look at that. It could be kind of like a two-tiered channel. Look how that's fitting. But I don't think that looks that bad. Was going to mention it, but didn't want to mess you up. No, don't ever worry about messing me up, mate. If you think you've seen a better channel, let me know. I'll always try them. If I think it's better, I'll keep it. If I don't, I won't. But don't worry about. The reason being is with a channel like that, we rarely just break and push straight up to a new high. Max sometimes says, "Aren't break worthy." Yeah, it's hard to say, isn't it? But this may be a leg and a leg. Let me just take a picture and see what anybody else thinks of that. Oh, crap. I've just typed all that. I'm looking at this. What just looked like a break and an immediate new high doesn't often happen after a big trend up. If it does break and go straight up, it's usually because there's a larger channel, just my 2 cents worth. And I've just noticed while I've been typing that, Dan's actually put that. He may see a small break, but I don't think it is. But we are going flat here, so I'd like to see. I think we will get a break here, personally. There is what could be a second. Now, we may have a leg up there with this. I think this is risky, personally, so I'm not getting involved. I'd like to see a second leg down here. Now, there's a possibility it could be a break, but we've made a new high, but it could be just the sake we may just have a correction instead of a push up and new high. So I'm just kind of on the fence here. I'm not getting, this is congested. It looks a bit congested, but on this chart, it looks even more congested. So you've got to be careful here because we could see that big bullish bar there that's triggered. Ah, there we go. See, big bullish bar triggered. For me, it was going to push down. So I think we may get a second leg down here. So I don't think Jan's with us today, is he? I haven't seen him yet. FOMC week, yeah. So let's see if we get 2 legs. If we do, then we may get something back here. I mean, it may hold here. It's certainly possible, but because we've gone straight up to this, now it could be a break, but it doesn't often just push straight up. It could make an attempt and come down for a second leg, but I'm not getting involved here because this could just spell trouble. Now we've had a push up. It could go sideways and push up, but my gut feeling is this is going to come down for a second leg. So I'm going to sit tight here and be a good boy and just let it do its stuff. Just going to put that there. Yeah, this looks like it's coming down. Fortunately, it hasn't triggered anybody that I can see. So this is what I think will happen. Now, even if it is a break, the fact that we've got 2 attempts could still qualify for a long, it's hard to say at the moment, but this would be a penguin style trade as well. Channel up, 2 attempts to push. This is definitely kind of a correction. I mean, there could be a small break and a new high, so you've got to be careful. Let's see how this reacts here. So I think I would be looking for a higher low here. I mean, that's very tempting. It is a correction. I know it's a terrible trade. Excuse me, but that is 20 ticks. So it's going to fail. It's going to happen there. Do I think it's going to? No. But I'm still not getting in. Just in case. Sometimes it does. But if you're going to buy this market to push up, this is probably where you're likely to do it. But I'm just going to sit tight here. See if we get a higher low. Test the break of overnight highs. I'm counting on it. Yeah. It's just not pushing up as strong as I'd like it, so it could come down and stop that out. I mean, there's always a possibility we've had a break in a new high and this thing now is reversing. But that to me looks like a correction. I just don't want to get in here for 20 ticks, just not at the moment. If we get a higher low, then I'll consider it then. Just going to get an order ready just in case.
Order submitted.
Yeah, I'm glad I waited. It may hold, but that's just looking a bit too scary. That's why I think you're always better to wait on the higher low. It may hold. I mean, if you like that, you could jump in here for a limit order, but the way that's coming down, I just want to hold. If you get in here for a limit order, you may get in for a 1.5 risk. No, I don't like something here. It is holding, so that's good news. I could push that up a little bit to there. Looks like it's going to work. So if you did get in there, I may have got in there, but I got stung the other day, although it wasn't, you know, I mean, there's a potential. If you go a tick above there, there's a potential 6 points there. But because we may have had a break, I'm just giving this a little bit of space because, look, there's always that possibility. But we also may trap some shorts here, so there may be, you know, if we can get a failure here to go long, it may not be terrible. But if you did get in there, then back to that EMA, you've got, you know, there's a comfortable 3.5 points. Yeah, this is going to the top, so maybe that wasn't terrible. The fact that it nearly came down, though, would have scared me, and I'd have probably got out for break even. But sometimes you've just got to take your trade and believe in it. But if that works, what was the risk there? You could have got in on a limit order, but the risk was about 5, let's say 5 3/4 points. But the reward, 16 points. So, you know, you're making over 3 times there. So, well, about 3 times, say, nearly. Let's see if we get a failure. Let me just have a quick look at this. There's always a possibility of channel. Right, let's see what happens here. It's very tempting that. I'd say that's going to get stopped out for sure. But do I really want to get into a 30-odd tick bar when it's nearly took it? No is the answer. If you get that wrong. If it was here, then there's plenty of space to get some points. So that's too rich for my blood, although I would definitely guess that's going to get stopped out. But it's 37 ticks. Tick above, tick below. It's not worth it. If it goes wrong, you're screwed. That could do you some serious damage you may not get over. I've had none. Data freeze. No. Not only that, channel down, 2 attempts to push up. This could come down. It could reverse. I'm just getting rid of my order at the moment.
Cancelled.
Now, depends how you're looking at this. You could say we've had a break and a new high already, so it's just hard to say. I'm aware of both. This is very trappy here. There's shorts trapped and longs trapped. There's a failure. So it could be 2 pushes up. This could come down. I think it's more likely to stop that out. But I'm just not getting into a risk for, was it 36, 37 ticks? Tick above, tick below. That's about 9 points. That's just crazy, that is. If you get that wrong, that's a... Let's have a look. Yeah, you're talking, there's nearly 10 points there. That's too much to risk, that is. It's too much to risk. You know, I mean, my guess is going to go up here, but it's just stacking up a bit here, and there is a possible channel, so, you know what I mean? I mean, look, at the end of the day, if you'd have got in there and just rode it, that, I think, wasn't terrible. Let's have a look. So, talking a 5.5 point risk. In the grand scheme of things, that's not too bad, but if you risk that, and you let the trade play out to here, let's put it, say there. Let's, because if it breaks above there, it's probably going to do it with a little pop. So let's leave that at 16.25 and see if that would have worked. Trouble is, we've got a channel down here, 2 attempts to push up, and it could fail. But now it's up so far, you've at least got to put it to break even, or maybe even to the EMA, but see, that bearish bar there is triggering, it's pushing up, so I think it likely break above there. Yeah, I wouldn't want to take a trade that far from the EMA, although I think it's going to stop that out, and quite likely that, but so let's see if the 16.25 will have worked. So it was a correction. See, the last 2 proper corrections I've seen both work. This is the third. That worked as well. It looks like it's going to work. It's fine. So it looks like it's going to work. So that would have worked really well. That would have been. So the last two of these I've seen, which look like a correction side by side, have worked. This one looks like it's going to work as well. There's a bearish bar there. Let's see if that triggers. I wouldn't take that because it's too far from that MA. So it could come down, test this again, but I don't think it will. I mean, even if it's stacking up and you come out there, there's still 12 points on, but I think would have been worth going to that because there's a big bearish bar there, so I think it's likely going to clear this. That would have made me over $800 per account there. $15,500 that trade would have made me if I'd have taken it. That's if it gets there. I think it probably will. That's why I wouldn't take that one. It looks like it may come down and just stop that out before it pushes up. Now let's see what happens. So if I was taking that trade now, my stop now would go there, would have to. So at least you've guaranteed 6.5 points. You'd have to put it there. If it comes much below there, it may come down here, so you don't want to lose that one. But I think that'll go up to there. But it makes sense. You come down, you clear liquidity, and it bounces from there. If it comes lower, it may come down here. But for me, if it's going to push up, it's going to do it from there. Beautiful. So that now should get up here. So that's where I moved my stop to. In fact, to be honest with you, as I saw that pushing up, I'd have probably put it to there, or I may have just squeezed it up so it would have hit your stop there. I may have squeezed it and followed it up. It's easy for me to do it, to say this when I'm in, when I'm looking at the trade. But look at that. It came down, took out the stop you'd have been there. But if you'd have just left it there, see, the issue, the thing is with that, if like over half my accounts now, the drawdown has stopped $5,100, so I don't have to worry about a move going up and it affecting me drawdown. So if I had to put me stop to there, riding this to the top, I'd have still been fine. Now you may go, the trouble is though, if it goes up 10 points or 12 points and it comes down and stops you out, you've lost a potential move like that. But if you believe it's going to go up there, you've got to kind of follow it. But it's easy for me to say this, but if I'd have been in that trade, once this is pushing up, I'd have been taking my stop up with it. And I'd have probably got taken out around about there. I wouldn't have had the confidence. So 10 points would have been great for me. So we've pushed up, we're going a bit sideways. So I think that'll reach this now. It's certainly looking, we've come back to that EMA and we've bounced off there. We did come down, trigger below. But once we get above there, we're going to find some liquidity. And then up here, so. The only issue here is we've already touched this level. I still think it'll likely push higher. But you've got to be a bit careful when it goes sideways. It is kind of still grinding by the looks of things. Second entry long here wouldn't have been a bad idea. It's kind of like a bull flag. We push up, we go sideways. So I'm going to move this anyway, but that's where the target would have been for 16.25 points. It's just messing the picture up. So second entry long off the bottom might not be a bad option. Now it's struggling. Okay, so we've got a channel with a break new high. We've tried to push higher twice more as well, and we've struggled. Yeah, I'm pausing looking for longs at the moment. This could just be a breakout pullback. It might trap and come back down. Everyone is quiet today, Monday. There is kind of like a failure there. Probably going to trap some shorts there. Probably likely coming down here. It's just gone too far there. I like the fact that it's quite a bullish bar. It's triggered and come down. So I think the chance of coming below this is pretty good. I'm just sitting tight here a minute. You can bet there's going to be a ton of liquidity below here. So I'm just wondering whether you could use this. If we're saying this isn't a break, see? If we're saying this isn't a break, there's the break. 2 legs down. So is this likely to go up? Tough one, isn't it? So that will be 2 legs down also. Possible overshoot. Wow, this thing's flickering around a bit now, isn't it? It's actually quite a small wrist, that, if you took it. About the smallest bar I've seen all day. Let's see if it worked. Well, let's have a look. So, took it a tick above there, tick below. It's a 3 1/4 point risk. Clearly made 5.5, 6 points comfortably. I'd have had a go at higher low there if we'd have got enough room to that EMA. Still got to be careful because, you know, we've had, if this was a break, we've had 1 attempt, 2nd attempt. There was a bunch of attempts, so this thing could still come tumbling down. This is tempting. There's probably going to be some stops there. There's a higher low there. Trouble is, there's not much room to the EMA. So there's nothing I can do here. I think there's a good chance to come to the EMA, but then we could get a 2nd entry short. This could come down, so I'm just going to have to sit tight here. I mean, what I will say is if this was a break, we made a new high and we tried a couple of times to go higher. So sometimes if you're focused on this thing pushing high, you can miss the fact that you might be going in the wrong direction. done this before. Been that focused on trying to get in long to push up, and all of a sudden it triggers me. Tony Hayden, but are you live on the Discord too? So no delay. Also, I take it you have roll. I have, mate. Yeah. Different. Yeah, I'm on the. Well, I'm on Dan's, and yeah, so it is coming down. This I thought it might do. Well, just temporarily. Yeah, I'm on Dan's, and I spend most of my time on Dan's, but occasionally I like to see what Thomas Way's got as well. So I tend to flick between the two. I think it stays mostly on Dan's. So channel break, new low. Still not ready to go long here. I think it's struggling to get up. It couldn't get above there then. So my guess is it may trap some longs in and down some more. The trouble is we've had a channel and a break and already made a new low. So see, I looked at that. I was very tempted, but it went too far. But, you know, you're thinking there's going to be some stops. But it has tried a couple of times to get up and it's struggled. So, you know, it may not go up after all. So, see what happens here. Channel down, 2 attempts to push up. Let's see. Oh. It's not super clear at the moment. I was surprised it did that. I thought we've made enough attempts to push up, so this may come down, but finally it does look like it may have found a way up. There was a new low. I wouldn't have taken a trade there because we've clearly tried to push in and dropped out again, so I wasn't expecting that. To check the volume in market analyzer and see which is more higher. Are you all about the volume on the old contract? I don't think there's much different, to be fair, if that's what you're talking about. See, it's very possible that we could end up doing something like that. It's very possible because we've tried a few times and we've struggled. So I'm going to remove it because I don't want to. I'm just treating it as a fail break out of range at the moment. But there is a possibility that we could do this and drop. It's too early, really, but. We have made multiple attempts to push high and we have struggled. So you've got to be careful going long or short here. We've come up to the midline. I mean, it may push up and break higher, but at the moment, it's a bit unclear. It's just I'm losing confidence in going along at the moment. Now, you may say, if that wasn't a break, we got 2 legs back and now we're moving up, but we've already been up to the top, so we've already made an attempt to make a new high, and we could only manage kind of a matching high on the close. So you just got to sit tight. It's a bit unclear. We're going to push up, we're going to come down. I don't know at the moment. Yeah, this is looking less and less likely. Now, I looked at a higher low there. I wouldn't take it because we're right at the top of these anyway. But as it's pushed up, look at this thing coming down. It may not do nothing, but it's clearly struggling to get up. It clearly struggled here and now here as well. So it's hard to say, isn't it, really? So I wouldn't take a short here just in case I'm wrong. I wouldn't take a long here either. So we have broken below that bar. So that bearish bar has triggered. But we got a short-term trend channel with a break and a new high. So you've just got to sit tight here, I think. It's hard to know what's going on here. Whatever it's doing it slowly and it's struggling, which just gives me lack of confidence. Slower this thing goes up, the quicker it comes down. I mean, if we put that to there, and say we've had a break and a new high already, it's tried once, twice. So let's get rid of that for now. There is a failure there, to be honest with you. The trouble is, I don't want to take a long there because it's sideways. Excuse me just a second. Okay, sorry about that. Right. Yeah, so if you took that higher low, it triggered you. This thing looks like it's coming down now. There's a lower high here. I wouldn't take it because it's sideways. It could still go up, but I would not want to be in that trade. So what I might quickly do is, while it's sorting this out, I'm not taking a trade up or down at the moment. It's just stagnant. Is it going to push up? I don't know. We came off the bottom, went sideways, couldn't get up and then dropped, so we could do the same. Now, there is a failure there. There's probably some short strap there, but it's stacked. You can't take anything, in my opinion. This thing could absolutely tank, or it could push up. So what I'm going to do is just take a quick 5-minute break and go make a cup of tea while it's sorting itself out. I'm not getting involved in this at the moment, so making sure I've got everything shut down. So I'll be about 3... I mean, Tony, sorry, mate. Sorry about the wire trading, but that Discord link is not available or not valid for me. How do I get a link? Let me have a look. There should be a way of me... Are you all about Dan's, are you, bud? Let's have a look. There's usually something that says... let me have a look. The link expired. You can change that. How do I change it? Do you know? Let me just message him. And change expired to never. Edit link. Let me have a look. Yeah, it doesn't say anything. It just says Discord so and so. It doesn't give you anything about expiring, does it, on it? No. There we go. Where's the paste? Right. Let me have a look. There are. Try that, bud. See if that works, mate. Failing that, I'll sort something out. But that should sort it out. He's just dropped me a new one on there, so that should sort you out. See if that works. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick 3 to 5 minutes. Make a cup of tea just while it's doing this because I ain't getting involved in here. God knows where it's going to go. So I'll be 3 to 5 minutes. Okay. So, yeah, it hasn't really done much. You can't get involved here. There is a lower high there. Is this thing coming down? You're starting to think it is. Let's put that back to where I had it. That's making sense now. It may be coming down now. We have got overnight highs here as well. And Friday's highs as well. This to me is clearly struggling to get up. It is testing this underside. Clearly struggling to get up. We had that break on a new high. Well, tried multiple times and it's struggling. It's only a first entry, that. You could argue it's a failure. But as we bounced off overnight highs and Friday's highs, I'm going to give this the benefit of the doubt here. He'll send me a screenshot. There's always a possibility that this is kind of like a bull flag and it's going to rocket up. But the fact is we've broken below here, pushed back in. We only got, you know, 2/3 of the way up. We've broken below again and we couldn't get back in there. So I was tempted to take a short there. You can argue it's a failure. But I just wanted to give this a little bit of time. For me, it might just be a little bit too early to go short, but the way we're struggling now kind of makes sense. I don't, but they don't do anything like that for some reason. So no, unfortunately, you've got to pay full price. I had to. I did try for them, see if they do something, but no, they don't. It's still worth buying though, bud. It's still worth buying. It save you a lot of headaches, I'll say that now. Fantastic. Dan's just put that on there as well. So he's looking at the same thing I have. Oh, see if Lance's channel gets confirmed. Doesn't look bad. See if we can get another attempt. If we can get a second push up, then that's 2 clear attempts. Then I may look for a short here. I know technically we've had a break of this, but if we do test this area again and a signal bar looks good, I may have a go. Although something's telling me we're probably not going to get up at the moment. It actually looks pretty good. Touch, touch, touch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches along the bottom as well. So now I will say it's not a very steep channel, so I still think there's a good chance this thing may push up. If this was going to reverse, I'd have expected to do it a little bit quicker and a little bit steeper. So I still think there's a good chance we get a second leg up. So what I'm going to do, just out of curiosity, or maybe just out of ego, just to see if it works, So we may do something like that. That very much resembles a bull flag to me. Now, I don't trade patterns, but I am aware of them. So there is a possibility we could do this. So I'm just going to throw that in just for good measure, just to see if it does. You never know. You may get lucky. So that 10,000 tick chart. So how nice that's fitting. We've got an overshoot there and a big bullish bar. Now that so interesting to see what happens. If it does push up like that, that's going to make me look really good. I need all the help I can get. Hmm. Two attempts to push up. I'm staying out of this. Now, I generally don't follow patterns like that. So I don't know if it's going to push up in a bull flag. Trap is central. I haven't looked at the 1,000. In fact, I had it the other day on for the full session. Okay. So, channel break new high. Let's see what happens here. Now, yes, this looks like a bull flag, but am I going to go short here? Channel break new high. It's a tough one. Because I think a lot of people in the Discord may go short there. But it does look like a bull flag, so I'm just going to sit tight, I think. Trouble is, although we've gone sideways, we have dropped a little bit, but it's not pushing down strongly like I would expect a downtrend or a reversal to work. So for me, this is still trying to push higher. It could happen. Still too risky here. This could wrap short traders. Now, because this hasn't really strongly pushed down, I don't think it's going to, not at the moment anyway, so my gut feeling is we're still going to push up. So now, it depends how you have this. You could rearrange this for it to work. But I'm sitting tight here. Because my gut feeling is this is going to push higher. Just based on the lack of follow through that this thing's gone down. Channel break new high. If this thing was going to come down some more, we'd get some strong selling there, and we're not really. Now, I could be wrong, but this for me, this does not want to go down, so... That actually doesn't look that bad, does it? Let's see what happens. A student live trading. Oh, is he really? Be one of Dan's, I dare say, wasn't it? Probably one of Dan's, I'm guessing, unless it's someone else's. Now, I still wouldn't go short here at the moment because this does resemble a bull flag, so... Now, there is a second entry short there, which is triggered. So it could push up and stop that out. But there's slight adjustment there. I'm not too worried about that. If they're slightly different on other charts, it's not a problem, but it could still come down. It's not doing it very strongly, so, you know, I still see a bull flag here, so I'm just going to have to sit tight here. So Taylor's got that as well, so he's still looking at the same thing. So you've got to pay attention to it, I think. Well, I was just looking at that. There is a lower high here. I was going to try and get in on a limit order. There's bound to be some stops there. So, never mind. That bullish bar has triggered. There's bound to be stops down there. Trouble is, I'd have preferred it to lift up a little bit. Dan has got that now, see, so good. It's tempting to go short there because it's triggered above there. Trouble is, it's got a bit sideways, so it could pop up or down. Shame that. If that had broken a little bit higher, it wouldn't look so bad. Trouble is, by the time we finish him, we're going to be at these lows. That's where I'm guessing stop's going to be. Certainly there. There's bound to be some stops there. A couple of legs back. It's bound to have some buyers in there, I think. Okay, so it is coming down. It just couldn't get up, so let's get rid of that. So it's a shame we didn't have anything. I was very tempted to go short there. It triggered that little bull bar there, but then it closed kind of too late. It was kind of move had gone then, really, but you're bound to have longs in here, aren't you? So that lower high all of a sudden on the 1,000-tick chart didn't look so bad. It's very tempting. I mean, there's probably going to be longs in there, and then when it did come down, when it kind of broke below there, it did have a little bit of a move, didn't it? Not so much. It came down, I don't know, a couple of points maybe, but there was a bull bar down here which I expected to get stopped out, which was there. So it did what I kind of expected it to do. So certainly I would agree with an overshoot there. Does that mean it's going to push up? Who knows? Skip the fail set and entry long. Yeah. That's what I was looking at. Trouble is, by the time that bar finishes, it's always nice to get in. If you can get in there, at least you've got some distance to get to those bars there. But then obviously we had that quick, strong push down. I preferred that push a little bit higher and closed about here, giving us some, you know, a little bit of space. Delta ticking down for the NQ. There is a possibility. Didn't even get back to the EMA there. Let's hope we kind of get a second entry short around about here somewhere, which would test the overnight highs and yesterday's highs. Sorry, Friday's highs. We didn't. Looking on that 1,000-tick chart, we had a bullish bar there. One leg out the bullish bar. I was hoping we're going to tick above it and then get a second entry short. So whether it is an overshoot or not, I don't know. There's a couple of people think we may have had a small break here. I'm not massively convinced. Hear about the Colombian trader who withdrew USD over $1 million. No, I didn't know. I thought it was a joke for a minute. Did you hear about the Colombian trader who withdrew USD? 1 million, no. Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. He just had one account, didn't he? Yes, I was watching futures for our... it seemed to ring a bell there. Futures for our futures. They mentioned it. Yeah, one $300,000 account. I know, crazy, isn't he? It's that Colombian coffee that does it, I reckon. He's drinking loads of that, and that's what makes him a good trader. I think that's what it is. All that extra caffeine. One account's all you need. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Let's make you wonder, how the hell do they do it? So, I've just had a quick look at the NQ. Just to see what's happening. And this NQ is coming down quite a bit steeper now. Does it do that? So we've got that channel with a new high. We had a couple of attempts, and this thing looks like it's coming down. So if we can get 2 attempts, 2 pushes up to the EMA here, I wouldn't have an issue with taking a short there. Not only that, is we got a channel down there, 2 attempts to push higher. If it fails here, you get a nice second entry short. I don't think that's that bad to go short there. So sometimes it's worth, if this thing is a little bit unclear, it's worth just having a quick squint on the NQ just to see. And that looks a lot more bearish. This isn't coming down as steep, but the NQ kind of is. There is possibly an overshoot, so it may result in a push up. So you'd have to be careful. But I know there's a few people that say we may have had a small break here and here. Sometimes that'll happen. So I'm not sure about that. But if we can get a decent second entry short, I don't think that'll be that bad because we've got overnight highs here and yesterday's highs, Friday's highs there. So if we can get a second entry short up here somewhere, it might not look terrible. So I'm just looking on the 1,000 tick chart. We've pushed up to VWAP and pulled away. We've pushed up again, so it is 2 legs up. Probably going to be some buyer's trap there. You have to be a bit careful because it might not work. It's not making me feel all fuzzy inside, put it that way. Okay, leg and leg. Let's see what happens now here. See if this drops. We'll see if it closes at the EMA and we trigger above it and come down bearish. I mean, it may go up. It could be an overshoot, may create it to go up, but it's struggled so many times to get up. Not massively convinced. So we got overnight highs here and Friday's highs there. Hmm. Okay, let's see where this baby goes then. So I think another couple of profitable days, well, one profitable, one turnover. Hopefully, I should be able to withdraw another 3,000 and possibly another couple of thousands by the end of this week, hopefully. So it could be my best month yet. So fingers crossed. I don't do anything stupid. So what's going on here? So every time we get up here, we're dropping back down and relatively rapidly. So we're going to do the same. Who knows? Now, as we know, sometimes if we get an overshoot, it can result in a reversal. But this thing has struggled so many times to get up. So my gut feeling is it probably won't. But I didn't think this channel, because it wasn't very steep, would last very long. I thought we would push up eventually. But it's still going. Now, there may be a small overshoot there with a new low there. And now this may be pushing up. We've got a small channel here. So whatever it's doing today, it's doing it very slowly. I'm guessing because there's still a lot of traders on. I'm just going to quickly check. In fact, let's do it on the other one. I'm just going to quickly change it over to the 03 contract and see if the volume's much different. Thanks, Speedy. I appreciate. Oh, you're talking to Sean. Did you hear about that? Oh, I see what you mean. There's me thinking everything's about me. Let's have a look. Actually, there's not a huge amount of difference in the way of volume, in all fairness. No, there's very little difference. Let's see how this pans out. There may be a small break there. But because of that possible overshoot, I'm sitting tight here. But we could have a channel with a break and a new high already. So let's have a wee look at this. Trouble is, we have had a break in a new high. It looks like it, so it may come down, but I can't take this in all fairness. One, it's above that EMA. Two, you just have to give that a little bit of space, I think. But that is pretty bearish in it, to be fair. But do you really want to get in there for 25 ticks? If you get that wrong, you're right up shit creek without a paddle. There is a lower high there.
Order
Okay,
submitted.
I'm taking a trade here. Not for a lot.
Order
just to
filled.
get a little bit here. I was just after taking a stop out, that's all. So I'll show you what it is here. It may come down a bit more, but it's still around here. So all I wanted to do was take out that stop, and it did it. Now, it would have given me full 3 points, but I don't mind getting in there for 6 ticks or whatever it is. Yeah, it would have given me full things, but at the moment it's just a little bit finicky. But the fact is, we've probably got a few traders trapped there and probably some there. So my guess is we're going to have a leg and a leg, but I'm not convinced this thing is going to come right the way down. So it worked on the 1,000 tick chart, so that was worth a trade there. So let's call that a lower high. But I don't mind. I've got just under 2 points, I think. There, it's that 0.75, something like that. So let's just call that a lower high. I don't mind. It's made me a quick $1,600, so it's worth it. It's worth the trade. So let's call that a lower high. And it's give us. Why doesn't it do that when it's closed? 675, 775, 0.75, that'll do me. Happy days. Disco, how you doing, buddy? So there you go. So basically it was that one there. So I'm going to mark that one. Let me have a look. No, technically, actually, it was a bit lower, but it was on the 1,000 tick chart. Possible huge wide trend. Possibly. About something like that, are you? Just too early, really. I'll have a break. When you say huge, you're talking about from here, aren't you? Not from here. Not about there. It's hard to say. Might just be 2 legs up to the top. But I have a break at the trend line on my 1,000 tick charts. Yeah. So it worked well, that 1,000 tick chart. It's the second trade I took on that out in the last week. It just breaks things up. See, if you look on the one chart, it's a big bearish bar and it's a bloody huge risk. Now, what I liked about here, I always pay attention to, am I going to be stopping out some bulls? So as we push up there, we got a strong bull bar there. So for me, it was a little bar here that it triggered above and pushed down. So it wasn't a huge move, but it, if you got in a tick below there, probably a bit lower than that. It's 4 points. So I'd have clearly made the 3 points, but my main interest really was just to get below here. I thought when it pushes below, we might get a little bit of move down, because after a possible overshoot, there's probably, we push up, we come back, we don't get down the bottom, and we push up. So I'm guessing there's probably going to be long traders there maybe. But there we go. So I was just interested in taking a small bit there, but I got 0.75 over 19 accounts. It's just under $1,600. It's not worth turning your nose up at that, to be fair. If I can get 2 points or close to it, it's still worth taking for me. It wasn't a big risk on there, if I remember rightly. Let me just have a look. Tick above, tick below. Yeah, it's about a 3 point risk. Well, considering the ATR's 5.5, it's a small risk, really. So really, it's about as small as you can get at the moment, a 3 point risk. So it clearly worked. We got a little channel down, a little bit of a break. It's always important to me that we're trapping maybe a few buys here. There's probably going to be stops below there, which hence gave us that little bit of push. So it was a relatively small risk there, so I think it was worth taking, and I got just, well, a tick under 2 points out of it. That's good enough for me. Now, that's why I didn't really want to go right the way down, because there is a possible overshoot, and that could potentially take us higher. So we got a leg and a leg. Should have taken a fail second entry short on the 2000. Yeah. The trouble is, you never quite know what it's going to do. It could trigger above this and come down some more. We could have a leg and a leg. The trouble is, when we get a bit of a break here and one the other side, my experience is sometimes you'll get a break of a channel like this, and it is a small break, and sometimes you'll get a mirror image of it here, which we do on ranges. If you get a range, a lot of time if it breaks out a bit, it'll do the same the other side. So sometimes it can just do that and then carry on its merry way. But you could argue that maybe it's not a break, but that is an overshoot, which can result in a reversal. I'm not in a rush to get into a trade long here, because we've clearly shown over the last 2 hours or whatever it is, we're clearly struggling to get any higher than this. And if you look, we had a small break and a new high. Every time it's come up, it's got lower and lower, with the exception of this. Now, this might have been created because of a possible overshoot. It fits that nice here. I've got no issues with here. So I tend to judge that as an overshoot. Now, the only reason I took a trade on the other one is because it was a lower high and it was likely to trap traders for a second leg, which is exactly what it did, leg and a leg. A lot of times, as we know, it clears out a lot of this before it pushes up again. So is it going to push up and make a new high? Is it a bull flag? It's possible. I mean, I don't trade patterns, but I am aware of bull flags. You know, you see enough. If you stroll YouTube enough, you see enough of them. And a lot of cases, it'll push off, come back, bounce off in, and rock it up for a second leg. So that's possible. But anything above $50 is classed as a profitable day in the eyes of Apex. So if I look on some of these accounts, I'm on day 7 here of one particular account, and I've made 1, 2, 3, 4. This is now day 5. One day I was down $6, which I took a micro just to make the day count. Another day I ended up having those 2 losses. Then I had I had a loss, and then I had a win, and then a win after a stream, and that took me 25 up, which doesn't count as a 50. So with this day on my one account, that's at 3,600. If I tick that over for the next day after this, I can withdraw 1,500 straight out of that. And another one as well, account 27, which is just under 3,700. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is day 5 as well, so I got another 2 days just to tick over. That's another 1,500 I could take minimum. So there's over 3,000 there just in those 2 accounts. I've got 3 more accounts with 1 more trade, which I could take $500 out of each. So it's turning out to be a good month, this. But I'm not too fussed about how much. Obviously want to earn as much as we can. For me, it's more about playing the rule, following the rules without taking stupid risks on individual accounts, and getting consistency. That's more important, consistency. Traders make different amounts of money depending whether it's been a good month or a bad month or an average month. But it's more important consistency. And some nice, consistent months is telling me, if I trade all my accounts together instead of taking stupid risks and I follow the rules, it works. And I've been told by experienced traders, once you get that moment of clarity and think, actually, for the first time, I'm really following the rules and it's working, that's when you get that kind of boost of self-belief, and you stick to the rules. But so many times when I get new accounts, I take silly risks trying to get lucky and trying to get them. But the trouble is, when you lose them, then it gets frustrated and it can affect your overall mindset. And that can affect the accounts that you are taking care of, which you don't want to do, really. So although when you follow the rules, your accounts do grow slower, they do grow, and there's plenty of money to be made. So I've finally got my thick head around the fact that if I do what I'm supposed to, things start to work. It's taken me long enough, but the trouble is with me, I've got that stubbornness and that little bit of immaturity when it comes to just, being a bit stupid and not taking stupid trades on individual accounts. But now I've decided to lock them all up together. Things are growing nice and slowly and steadily. You thought I'd have learnt that by now, wouldn't you? But it's taken me long enough. It's not like I'm a young kid either, and I haven't grown up yet. Seems I've still got a lot of growing to do. But it's better late than never, I suppose. So how long have we been going today? Let me have a look. So 2 hours and 45 minutes. So I'm going to finish up soon. I just wanted to do me 3 hours today. I got to pop out and do a little bit of shopping. So incidentally, if anybody isn't aware, we've got a new Apex offer out. Part of it doesn't sound fantastic, but the other part does sound pretty good. So it's 71% off and 120 lifetime fee. And that is for the 25, 50, 75, 100, 150. But if you decided to take a $250,000 or $300,000 account, they're $48. And if you pass them, they're only $85 to pass. I considered getting myself one. I still might do. But for $48 with an $85 fee, the good thing about having the odd bigger account is you can trade them a little bit bigger and hopefully make them grow a bit. So I might pick one up for tomorrow. So, and also there's a $40 reset, which is a bit cheaper, I think. So it's not terrible actually. That the 71% off, that doesn't attract me too much. But the $40 reset fee isn't too bad. It's just under 80% there, so that's not terrible. So we got 2 legs up and we've broken out of this. See, I'm quite happy with that day. It's not a huge amount of profit per account, but it's $25 shy of $1,600 for the day. So that's the beauty. You can earn $83 on one account if you've got multiple accounts. It puts that day up to a kind of a tidy sum. So what I'm going to do in the last 5 minutes, I'm just going to show you this order software that I've got that I'm trying out for Jan, or a key tree as we know him in the chat. In fact, I won't be taking another trade now. I'll show you now. So let me just get rid of my Replicanto and let's move this onto a sim. My other account onto a sim. Let me just check.
Order
I've
submitted.
only got one order. Yes.
Order cancelled.
I'm going to enable this. So this is this bit of software that Jan's developed. Just switch my... Sorry about flashing the mic. So what it basically is, if I want to take a trade here or a short here, I've got to right click. Sometimes it takes a couple of right clicks. And then you've got to click sell limit, and then you've got to drop it into place. And when the market's moving quick, or you've just seen a trade, it's a little bit long-winded. So
order cancelled.
Right click, find where I want to do,
Order
and then
submitted.
order.
Order
But what I can
cancelled.
do, if I'm looking for a sell here, I can click the sell button and drop the
Order
order up there,
submitted.
and I'm in straight away. So I've got an order up straight away, and I can close
Order
it. So
cancelled.
click,
Order
and I'm in.
submitted.
It's quicker. It does shave valuable time off it. Now,
Order
if I click
cancelled.
sell and drop it down here,
Order submitted.
it'll leave a market stop order or a market sell order, whatever it is. So I've got both options there if I want to leave that type
Order
of order. So
cancelled.
if I'm looking to short here,
Order
I could
submitted.
just drop that down there. But I like the fact that I've got a
Order
close button as
cancelled.
well. So also if I want to click a sell
Order
limit order,
submitted.
that's not right. A buy
Order
limit
cancelled.
order,
Order
I'm down
submitted.
here. So a sell limit order
Order
is up
submitted.
here. So it's a useful bit of software actually. I'm only trying
Order
it on the sim at
cancelled.
the moment. I want to make sure it works. But it's just so much quicker than doing this and
Order
doing this.
submitted.
It does take valuable time
Order canceled.
as opposed click,
Order
click,
submitted.
and I'm in, all ready to go. So now, if you want to know how to get this, if you go onto Jan's website, and I'll show you. Is it available to download yet? I'm not sure. It might be, but I'll show you his website anyway. And you'll see what other bits and pieces. So that's his website, as we know. He's got the new News Guard and the Trade Journal. I think that's something to do with gaming, I think. So I don't think it's available yet, but it will be. But if you look, it's under strategies. So if I close that
Order
down a
canceled.
minute, and I disable it, it goes, and then I can right click and edit it, and I can change, colors, distance from the right, the length of the order, and so on and so forth. So it's a really good bit of kit. I've said for a while that it can be a bit long-winded having to right click. And sometimes, if the market's moving quick, NinjaTrader gets a bit lagged. It can take... I've just clicked it there, so I've had to click it a second time. It is a bit long-winded.
Order canceled.
But if I just enable it, and if I'm looking to shorty, I click sell, boom, I'm ready to go. And I just drop my order in here.
Order filled.
Put my stop wherever it goes. And that's it. But I like the fact that if something goes wrong, rather than clicking the little cross or clicking here, I can just go boom.
Order filled.
And it closes instantly. So I really like that. So I'm just trialing it for a week. He's not in today. I don't know where he is. He may have told me, but I had to play around with it last night. But once you downloaded it, it's just dead simple to get it on and off. You just click enable, and it's just there in your strategies. So I'm going to play around with that for this week, and if I have no hiccups and he's happy with how it's playing out, I'm going to start using it next week. But it's a really useful bit of kit. It makes things so much quicker. As some of you remember, I used to have something called One Click Trader. Now the guy let me use it for free. I think it was about $300, and it did something similar, not as quick. But the only issue is it had a buy and sell button right here as well. If you click those by accident, it opened up an order. Whereas this one won't. If I click it by accident, it'll do nothing. And all I got to do if I want to get out of it is either go straight onto close or drop it either up there.
Order canceled.
Drop it up there or whatever it is out the way.
Order canceled.
So,
Order submitted.
It's a great bit of software. I like that. Canceled. Dead simple, but it's effective. So let's get rid of that now. So there you go, folks. So I'm going to... this looks like it's coming down, actually. Small break. I'm going to finish today, actually. So not a bad day today. I got a small amount, 0.75, but it totals over $1,500. So it's a good, profitable day for me. So I'm pleased. I've done 3 hours now. But I need to go out and do a little bit of shopping. So I will leave you guys to it. So if you're carrying on trading, best of luck. It's a funny old day today. We've had that one move up and then this down, basically. You're welcome, buddy. So best of luck to you. I'll be back tomorrow. Have a great evening. Stay safe. We'll do it all again same time tomorrow. Bye for now.